I got a problem with this door. It's all busted up and I fixed it so it latches, but it's all coming apart, all falling apart. I want to fix it up. These things new, I think, around $600, $700. I don't want to spend that on an old used trailer. So anyways, it's got the screen door on the inside. I'm going to cover that up with plastic so it's protected and hopefully take this door off so I can work on it, get it fixed back up. Okay, I got some plastic up here to protect it from the weather. And now I'm going to try to take these hinges off. There's 3 of them without stripping them. Some of them are pretty rusted, so I want to be real careful. I've got the door supported underneath with that bucket and some 2x4s so it doesn't just drop down. And I've got the ladder against it to keep it from swinging closed. And now I got to get those screws out of the hinges, and I want to make sure I use a bit that is a real tight fit so I don't strip those out. That worked out well. Now let's get that door inside, see if we can rebuild it. Well, it's obvious it's in pretty rough shape. I'm going to go ahead and start taking it apart and see what we need. It's the magnet for the screen door. They latch together, and the door latch. Couple screws missing. These screws are all coming out. Some are missing. Half these screws, there's hardly anything left of them. All rusted out. I just want to make it solid. Doesn't even have to be pretty. I guess this was originally glued on there. This is all busted around here and deteriorating. I really would like to find a new skin. Yeah, this is glued on here. Rotten wood, busted wood. Really need to get this skin off. Let me get a putty knife. There we go. Even got a wasp nest in here. No extra charge. How about that? Oh, and this is starting to rot here. Oh, and the wood's all rotten down here. And it's gone here. Alright, well at least we got her opened up. We can see what we're up against here. And I need some of this foam. Probably 1.5 inches or 2 inches there. Replace that wood. Replace this. And I really would like a new skin on here. Making progress. Alright, I'm going to chip away at this a little bit at a time. Here's my dilemma. It's an old trailer. I didn't pay too much for it. I don't want to put a whole bunch of money into an old rickety door. I did find a new door for $140 online, but it's far away from me and they want $250 for shipping. But maybe in the future I can find a used door or a new door that's reasonably priced. Some of these, the manufacturers for a brand new one want $600 and $700. I'm not going to spend that. This wood's rotten, so this is okay, this is okay. I'll probably leave these two and just change this one piece out. And I'm going to use treated wood that won't rot. So I'll change this out. I need to fix this here where it's rotten. So I can extend that down there, and up here at the top, it busted. So I'm going to maybe cut this piece out. And I'm looking for a piece of styrofoam. And this is 1.25 inches thick. It gives the rigidness to the door. And I've looked everywhere, went online, and I found a place that'll make it, but they have a $500 minimum order, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm looking around for pieces of styrofoam that I can either finish this off with, or it'd be nice to get a whole piece. That'd be even stronger. I took a putty knife and scraped this down and got as much of the old glue off that I could. And I might wipe it down with mineral spirits. But I'm going to go ahead, cut this piece. I got to drill a hole for the lock right there. That's just rotten there. And I'm going to firm this up. They just use staples on this. I guess I'll put some screws in. And measure and cut these pieces. And I also have to do a piece for down across here. This is the bottom of the door. And the trim is missing with the weather stripping. And I'll fix something up for that. Now that bottom piece that I need, I'm going to do out of treated wood. Obviously it rotted and not there anymore. So I assume it was the same size as this. And this is 1 5/8 inches. So 1.5 inches would work. And for the thickness, it's 1.25 inches. Well, I wasn't paying attention. But this goes this way. So that is no good, no good. So this goes away. And then I need to measure this. And the thickness of this is 5/8. And, I'm going to do 3 feet of it, I guess. 1.25 inches. 20 5/8 long. That'd be the same 1.25 inches here. 1.75 inches for that bottom piece. And that's going to be treated. And I'm going to do this in treated too, since this rotted. You can see all my pieces. No good. This is aluminum. It's real light. But this has a steel U-channel in here. And that firmed that up. And they didn't put any wood in here, so I'm not going to either. Because this is nice and stout. And once I get this board in here, that'll make that real rigid. And then the styrofoam in the middle and glued all together. That's my plan. Alright, I got my handy little homemade table saw here. And if you want to see how I made this, it's super accurate. You can just look in the top right corner there, and I made a video on that. There we go. Anyways, you see how this works? I'll go ahead and cut the other pieces, and then we'll go back down, put it together. Alright, after a lot of messing around, we got this piece in. It didn't even exist. This piece was rotted. Got that in. This piece back here was also busted, not connected. We got that in. I got to bend this back straight. It got out of whack right here. And then I can put this back on here. I got this block fixed, and that'll go in just like that. And it wasn't designed this way, but I went ahead and built a piece for in here. That'll give that a lot of strength in the middle. And I threw another one in here. So that'll give us a lot of strength in the middle where the handle is. That should be pretty stout. And I didn't add too much weight to it. That piece, this one, maybe I added 3 pounds, 2 pounds to it. So I think we're looking good. Now my challenge is, I'm going to cut this piece of styrofoam. I've got that for this section, and I'm going to have to figure out the bottom section. This is 1 1/4 inches, and as I told you, it's hard to find. But we'll work something out. She's coming together. Okay, I got the frame all built, and I just want to stick this old skin on here just to make sure it's still the size that the door needs to be. Don't want to build it too wide. I can't change the height, but putting these in, I can change the width a little bit, and it looks good. Of course, I'm going to put a new skin on here. So we'll go ahead and secure what we have here. And the nice thing about securing all this is it'll make the hinge side real strong. You can see this thing's not moving. That is one solid door. We're close enough to go ahead and cut the fiberglass. And this is actually, they call it reinforced fiberglass plastic, RFP. Anyways, it's $42, $43 a sheet right now. And I don't know what it'll be in the future, but it's expensive stuff. You get it at any big box hardware store. Some people cut it with a skill saw. You got to be sure if you do that to wear a mask from the dust from this. Also, I'm cutting this upside down. This is the smooth side. You want to cut it upside down. Otherwise, your knife's going to bounce around and you won't get a good cut. And a good sharp knife. I got a brand new blade in. Okay, let go. Let's take it to the edge and just see how we're... It's probably best to cut all the way through if you're cutting from the back side, so you don't get the little chippiness. But I have a plate that goes over that, so I should be all right. All I have to do is cut out this hole for the latch, and I am done. Now I've got a metal jigsaw blade, and I just want to do a little test cut here. When I used to install countertops that had laminate tops, you'd always cut them upside down so the good side would be up here and you wouldn't get chipping. But if you cut it this way with the good side, you can get chipping because it's pulling. Anyways, I'm going to do a little test because we've got that done and I don't want to mess it up. That'll do. Obviously, the first thing I'm going to do is drill a hole at each corner, and then I can just work my way around with the jigsaw. And it's not good to breathe this stuff, so make sure you're wearing a mask and eye protection, especially with a circular saw, because those chips of fiberglass can shoot up and hit you in the eye. And there's our piece all ready to be installed. All right, now I need to cut the styrofoam that's sandwiched in between the two fiberglass sheets. And I've got this marked with my handy guide here. How about that for a clean cut? Works real nice. Okay, for that bottom section, that was all gone. There was nothing left. And it's 1 5/8 inches thick. You can't buy that. This is 1 inch, and I also bought 1/2 inch material. The 1/2 inch material is a 1/16 over, and this is an 1/8 short. This is actually 7/8. So between the two of them, I'm going to come within a 1/16 of 1 5/8, which is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this for the bottom section, and then I'm going to have to glue them together and sandwich them together. Now this styrofoam has a backing actually on both sides, and I don't want that. I'm going to glue these together, and I don't want to depend on this paper for the strength. That glue is going to be stronger than this. I'm going to peel this off. And there's our 1 5/8. Perfect. All right, I threw the styrofoam in. Everything's fitting nice and snug. I want to do 2 other things before I glue it in. First, I want to check that this door is not racked. And the way to do that is you measure from corner to corner, and we've got 70 inches exactly there. And it should be the same on both sides. And we got 70 inches there. Perfect. So the door is square. It's not racked. But because I'm going to glue this all together, I want to go ahead and test fit it on the trailer just the way it sits. Well, I guess I'll take these out and just make sure that it'll close, that it's not too wide in one place and hitting the jamb. Otherwise, it'd be a mess. If I had to make an adjustment after I've got it all glued together, I'm stuck. I have to start all over. And I don't want to do that. So let's go up and test fit it. Now I don't have the inside skin in, and I also have this plastic here, which is going to affect it a little bit, not much. Oh, and I need to pinch this in after I get the skin on here, so that'll make it easier to close. And I've got a good reveal all the way up and down. So we're good. We can go ahead, put the foam back in, and glue it up. Now I'm all set to go with gluing this down, and before I start, I want to explain to you how I'm going to do it, and then I'll walk you through it real fast, because you got to do this. It has a 20-minute setup time, but there's different products that you can use for this. Some people spray, some people brush a product on, and I'm going to use this Liquid Nails caulk, and it's called Fuse It. And the reason that you have to be real careful is, especially with the styrofoam, a lot of chemicals will eat the styrofoam. Even regular spray paint will eat styrofoam. So you have to be very careful. I talked to technicians at 3 different companies, 3M, Liquid Nails, and another company, and got their best ideas for the best products. For the price, this is my best option for what I'm doing. I've got 20 minutes to work with it. Using this product, you want to take a damp rag and wipe down the surfaces that you're going to be mating. So I'm going to wipe that down. I'll wipe the styrofoam down, and then I can put them all together. They recommend a bead every 4 to 6 inches in a zigzag pattern. So I've marked that out on both the styrofoam and this. These are 10 bucks a piece, so I don't want to waste material, and I'm hoping to get it done with 2 tubes, but I've got a third if I need it. So we'll go ahead, get started. Like I said, it's a 20-minute time to work with it. Then I'm going to put it on the carpet on the floor with weights on top, and you got to let it set up for 24 hours. So that'll be a good solid bonding then. The other nice thing about this, it has a very high temperature threshold. I think he said 130 degrees. Maybe it was even higher than that, where it'll keep bonding and not break down, and minus 30 degrees or something like that. So this was the best idea for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, but I'm going to show you the whole process of me putting it all down. And because I scraped the glue, the old glue off of this, it likes a little bit of a rough surface to bond better, so I'm just going to take 180 grit sandpaper and just hit it with that to rough it up a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing with the back side of the FRP because it's so smooth. And I cut off the top of the tube, and I'm going to cut the tip for a 1/4 inch bead. I need to wipe it down with the damp rag. Now she sits for 24 hours. And while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and clean this latch. And the best cleaning is WD-40, and I made this container myself and refill it with a gallon jug, and I save a lot of money that way. WD-40, all pressurized and everything. And WD-40 is water displacement. It's great for displacing water, but it's also a good cleaner. It's not really a lubricant. A lot of people use it as a lubricant, and that's not what it is. But I'm going to use it to clean this up, and it lubricates a little bit, but that's not the main function of it. And then to lubricate this, I like white lithium grease or silicone, and the silicone lubricant. The nice thing about this is these don't attract dirt like oil would. And as soon as our glue's dry, we can go ahead and put this back together and reinstall it. Well, I actually left that on there for a day and a half. I got busy with some other things. So I'll go ahead and pull it up and get it back up on the table, and we'll finish it and hang the door. Now I've got the trim piece for the top with the weather stripping, but the bottom is missing. As you saw, that whole bottom of that door was gone. So I found an aluminum ladder that's junk. It's basically the same size. It's a little thicker this way, but I think it'll accomplish what we need. And I'm just going to mark it, cut it, and use this for the bottom. right, I'm all set here. And of course, you know I had to make this custom for the bottom piece off that ladder. And I don't know if I need that trim piece on the bottom or not, but the problem with that is it's offset a little bit, and I don't know if I want to go through all that work or if I need to. It's not an airtight trailer. I got the handle on, the new skin, and I got the top all set. So let's go put it in, see how it works. Tight fit. Now that wasn't an easy job, and not sure if it's worth it or not. If you could find a door, might be better to take all the rivets out, take the frame and the door out and replace it. I think a new one is around $600 or $700, but there are used ones around. If you can find one, that might be a better route to go. But I got a good solid door here. I'm happy with it. If this video was a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to helping you with other projects online.